Modern Horizons 2 is taking Modern by storm, introducing multiple new archetypes and buffing a lot of previously existing archetypes. I think it's safe to say that Modern Horizons 2's impact is sweeping and significant. Out of all the new cards that Modern Horizons 2 has brought us, I think one of the most interesting is... Asmo Rando Marduka Dyston Akoldakar. Did I get that right? Asmo Rando Marduka Dyston Akoldakar. Once you look past that crazy weird name, this card is actually pretty powerful, being a 1-mana 3/3 that tutors a specific card into your hand as long as you've discarded a card this turn. Because of the potential of this card is so high, it's no surprise that people have been brewing around it with multiple color combinations and game plans. The deck we're going to take a look at today is a black-green list that MTGO player Benny Bo piloted to a 3rd place finish at a recent Modern Challenge. Now, without further ado, let's get on to the deck tech. At its core, this deck is a black-green food mid-range deck that aims to control your opponent's board as well as deploying multiple powerful threats that bring your opponent's life total from 20 to 0. However, this deck does have a few combo elements to it. Let's start with the card that this deck is built around, Asmo Rando Marduka Dyston Akoldakar. The trickiest part about this card is how are we going to get her out? We have a few ways of doing this. The first one is Street Wraith. This card is a staple in pretty much all Asmo decks, being that it can cycle for free and lets you get Asmo out on turn 1 fairly consistently. We also have the card that Asmo tutors for, the Underworld Cookbook. This card can let you get her out on turn 2. Another card that can let you get her out on turn 2 is Finale of Devastation. Because she has a mana value of 0, you can cast Finale for X equals 0 for just 2 mana and get her out on the battlefield. The last one we have is a 1-of Lot Left Troll. This is just the best discard outlet that we have access to besides the cookbook itself, which also comes in handy with some other cards in the deck. This deck also has a significant amount of graveyard play to it. We have the standard all-star combo of Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar, letting us drain our opponent for essentially 1 damage a turn. We also have Feasting Troll King. If we discard this to either the Troll or the Cookbook, we get to sacrifice 3 foods to bring him back right onto the battlefield, and a 7/6 Vigilance Trample is gonna get through for a significant amount of damage. We also have one of the sleeper all-stars of the deck, Oval Chase Daredevil. This card is absolutely absurd when you combine it with the Underworld Cookbook. We can discard the Daredevil to it, making a food. That food enters, triggering the Daredevil, bringing it back to hand. If we have 2 cookbooks and Asmo out, we essentially get a free removal spell that kills pretty much any creature in Modern every single turn. This gets absolutely oppressive against any fair creature-based deck. The last card we have is Gilded Goose for some ramp and some extra food generation. Asmo wasn't the only card from Modern Horizons 2 that made it in this deck. The second one? A land. Urza's Saga. This card is extremely important in the deck. We can easily support it because we're a 2-color deck. The constructs that the Saga make can get ginormous with the amount of food we're generating, plus the Witch's Oven and the Underworld Cookbook. The 3rd chapter is absolute gold for us as well, making us able to fetch out Witch's Oven or our 2nd cookbook for the absurd combo I just talked about. We also have a couple of 1-of artifacts to tutor for. The first one is Pithing Needle. This is a fantastic card against a lot of cards right now, Asmo for example. It also hits Stoneforge Mystic, the 2nd chapter of Urza's Saga, and any planeswalker you could come across. The second card is also a huge one, Shadow Spear. Not only will equipping this to a Feasting Troll King pretty much win you the game against Burn or Blitz, its activated ability hits a decent amount of cards like Heliod or the Cauldron Complete Germ, letting you kill them with Asmo's ability. Besides Urza's Saga, the mana base for this deck is pretty standard. We've got 4 Blooming Marsh and 4 Verdant Catacombs for fast and fetch lands, 2 Nurturing Peatland and 3 Overgrown Tomb for Horizon and Shocklands, 1 Yavimaya and 1 Urborg to let our Urza's Sagas tap for colored mana, and 1 basic forest and 1 basic swamp. As far as the sideboard goes, we have a wide array of cards good against various matchups. We have 3 Thoughtseize for combo decks, 3 Assassin's Trophies, and 2 Fatal Pushes for decks where we need a little bit more removal, 2 Force of Vigor for artifact and enchantment based decks, 1 Scavenging Ooze, 1 Soulguard Lantern, and 1 Tormod's Crypt against graveyard decks. The latter 2 are also able to be tutored out by Urza's Saga. We also have 1 Trail of Crumbs and 1 Vraska Golgari Queen for decks where we need a little bit more staying power and resiliency, like Control. Asmo Rando Marduka Dyston Akoldakar is one of the better cards that's come out of Modern Horizons 2, and in my opinion, this is one of the best shells for her. The mid-range playstyle and the way this deck synergizes is just chef's kiss. Get it? Cause she's a chef, and yeah. What do you think? Any questions or comments about this deck? Be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. Deck list, Twitter, Twitch, and TCG Player affiliate are all in the description, and as always, have a great day.